Cool. Jamie, another thing that I really wanted to ask, something's in my mind so far is, mom, you're a mom of two kids, you said, right? Um, so for moms that are listening and want to be raw vegan, do you want to share a bit more? Like how is it to be a mom, and like, I'm sure like sometimes you might spend a little time in the kitchen, and I don't know, are they like raw vegans? Have you produced more little raw vegans? Like
Um,
how has it
well,
been?
my kids actually don't live with me, which makes it a lot easier. And when I was living with my kids, it was a big challenge. So I did go raw with my kids the first time, and I tried to make them raw. Um, that didn't go well. It kind of backfired at me.
Mm,
And I would feed my kids very healthfully, and they would go to their dad's house, and he would give them candy and soda and fast food and all this stuff. And then they would come back to my house and they didn't want to eat what I was giving them. So it was this
mm,
internal struggle and external struggle constantly. And it really hurt me to see them eating the way that they were eating. But eventually I just kind of was like, okay, I really can't force them. And Jillian Berry, I don't know if you
yeah.
know who she is. She's raw. She does not force her kids to eat raw. And that might be better. They might actually grow up inspired by what she's doing. Or it could go the other way where, they didn't grow up eating that way, and the habits from childhood are going to go into adulthood. It's going to be that much harder for them to go plant-based or raw. Um, but when I moved to Los Angeles a couple years ago, my ex-husband moved into my house where my kids were living, so that I can relocate down to Los Angeles. And I think the lifestyles now at this point are just so different. It would be really hard, it would be very,
Mm,
very hard to, because even when I was raw, like my husband was eating meat, and I would try to make my own food, and then I would have to make my husband something, and then I would make my kids something because they were picky and they didn't want to eat what I was eating. They didn't want to eat what my ex-husband was eating. So, I was making three or four different kinds of meals every
yeah.
day. It just became a lot, So
Mm,
it's like, my kids are older, they're teenagers, and, they don't
mm,
really want to do the lifestyle that I'm doing, so it's okay. I think I think that one day maybe they'll be inspired, and I think the best thing to do is just set an example. And when they look at me and they're like, okay, this is what my mom looks like, and this is what the other women her age look like, and they're gonna see their dad and their stepmom, maybe their health may deteriorate and they may be in pain one day, they may get sick, they may come down with an illness, and I'm going to be thriving and I'm going to have tons of energy and I'm going to be living my best life. And hopefully that will be enough to inspire them and see the truth.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at least now they have like a strong seed planted in their mind, because, so many people like, me myself, I didn't know anything about raw vegan or fruitarian at all, like nothing. That concept did not exist at all, right? But for your kids, at least it exists in a very strong way because their mother is raw vegan.
And not just
Um,
that, they grew up learning about the neti pot, enemas, raw
mm,
veganism. I've even talked to them about breatharianism. They know what breatharianism is. Like they were exposed to everything at a very young age. So, they're going to be the ones that know these things
yeah,
growing up. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
and they're
right.
gonna
Because
be
I
around a
never knew
lot of
that.
contrast.
Yeah, I never knew that growing up either. I didn't even know what the term organic meant until I was maybe 18 or 19. Never heard of it.
Mm, mm,
Didn't know what it
yeah,
was.
yeah. Yeah, me too. I would say for the most part. Um, Dude, something that I wanted to show the viewers. I'm actually pulling my phone here, but I really wanted to show, because like I really want people to see this, because when I saw this, I was like, man, this is just incredible. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I found it, guys. Check this before and after.
Okay,
Isn't
so
this just incredible?
what I wrote here, if you can see on the left, okay, it says 22 years old. And then on the right, I put 38 years young.
Yeah,
38 years young,
yeah,
22 years old. Yeah, I definitely felt, looked, acted older than I do now. And I
that's
appreciate
insane.
you showing that. Yeah. I'll be 39 in a few months, actually.
Right,
I'm
but
excited
yeah.
for 40. I'm excited to go into my 40s. I think my 40s are going to be amazing. I think I'm going to accomplish amazing things. And, my goals are I'm going to have the body that I've always wanted. I'm going to, accomplish my dreams. I'm going to do all the things. And that's what happens when you
Mm,
eat raw. Like, instead of growing older and, other people my age, maybe sit on the couch and watch TV for hours and hours and, they don't really have much life ambition other than they go to work and then on the weekends they would just want to relax because they have to go back to this job every week and, they're tired and they're stressed and they don't feel good and they have pain in their body. And I just wake up excited every single day. And I don't know. I do feel like I'm growing younger. And I even say that. Oh, this is another thing too. So mindset plays an important role. So it's not just your diet, it's not just your lifestyle and your habits and everything, but your beliefs around aging and feeling youthful, the placebo effect, like telling yourself all the cells in my body are regenerating. And could you think about it?
mm,
All the cells in your body after a few years actually regenerate. You have a whole new body after a few years. What's growing older? Like what's
yeah.
actually getting old? It's brand new. We have a brand new body, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, and just
yeah,
thinking young,
absolutely.
feeling young, yeah, coming back to that playful, childlike spirit and just think about children. They don't live in fear. And when something
Mm,
happens, they feel something, they cry it out, and then boom, they're off to the next thing, feeling joy again, just living in the present moment.
yeah, yeah. That's incredible. Way to see it for sure. Because yeah, like when you say it that way, it makes so much sense because cells are regenerating, and if you were to give the right fuel, they would become younger and they would become more powerful, and you know that they would have that extra oomph in them. But like also we do understand that, oh, like perhaps you could also degenerate after, let's say. So let me ask you that, Jamie, but do you feel like the human body ever degenerates then,
I think
or
aging
it's
is an
just like a
affliction
made
of
up
the
concept?
mind. I think I think we're thinking about it constantly. I think we're
Mm,
constantly have a fear of death. I think we constantly are being surrounded by aging all the time. We're on sickness. And I think the body has the capability to survive for hundreds, if not 1,000 years, and I think that I don't know if something was altered in our DNA to cause us to have a shortened lifespan. But I do know some people age quicker than others. And I do hear stories about people living to be hundreds of years old. And I do hear stories about ascended masters that don't age. They look, they're hundreds of years old. They can phase in and out of this dimension and they look like they're 30. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? That would be the ultimate test, right? And I kind of feel like that's what I would like to experiment with myself is
mm,
can we find the youth, the fountain of youth? Are the secrets to eternal youth inside of us? Can
mm,
we alter our DNA to stay young? Not just with diet, not just with detoxing, not just with, but really reprogram our DNA and our beliefs not to regenerate, not to degenerate. Is that
mm.
possible?
I see where you're coming from, and I do not want to say it's not possible, but what I can say, just to bring some contrast into the picture, is that if you were to look at nature, right? everything's regenerating and thriving, living full of life for a very long time, right? Compared to, like, relatively to their life cycle and all of that, and then eventually degenerates and dies, right? I just feel like, for sure, no matter who has descended and, like, no matter who has come on, they are still not here anymore. So for sure, they have at some point degenerated and left. So a process of degeneration
I see.
happened,
Yeah.
no matter when it happened, right? No matter if it
Yes.
happened at the age of 30 or at the age of 100.
And I do see where you're going with this. Yes. So the idea would be, can we slow this process down? Can we
Absolutely.
increase longevity, increase our lifespan as much as we can to our capability? And um, dang, it was something good. I lost it. It'll come back. Sorry.
It'll come back. It'll come back for sure.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And
No,
I think,
it just came back. It
yes,
just
go
came
ahead.
back. And then being able to embrace aging, right? So not
Hmm.
fearing it, not be afraid of it, and not have those negative self-beliefs and negative thoughts and feelings about ourselves as we age. Because you're right, at some point we are going to age and deteriorate, but the quality of life could be a lot better than
Yeah.
if we're living a not so great lifestyle. So can we increase the quality of our life as we're aging? And can we embrace it? Can we feel joyous about it? Can we be like what was the name of the girl on the Golden Girls, the older lady that passed away at 95? I can't think of her name. She was on the Golden Girls,
I actually don't know
and
her.
95 years old, she was still acting, still making people laugh, still smiling. And
Hmm.
because she was just living her truth and just loving herself, and like she looked young. She's 95, but you could see the youthfulness radiating out of her. And yes, let's say you have two 90-year-old people. One of them is stiff and has regrets and guilt and hates their life, and the other one's, thriving and grateful and, exercising and, like one's gonna look younger. You're going to be able to see these two people at the same age. It's just a state of mind. Youthfulness is a state of mind, and it doesn't necessarily even have anything to do with your looks or the state of your physical being. It's a
Yeah.
state that you can live from. It's youthfulness. You live from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Yeah. Well said, for sure. Um, yeah, it's the quality of life, isn't it? Like, once you get so much more conscious and you rise above the consciousness, because how I see now this whole creation is just consciousness, right? It's just intelligence. Like, if you, like, even when I was in Colombia and when I had previous sessions where I was just sitting by myself in the forest, one thing I could see, Jamie, is that everything around me is pouring intelligence, right? Like, it's intelligence, intelligence, intelligence everywhere. So, like, intelligence and consciousness are tied together, and this is what is, like, literally the creation and the creator, and we are part of that creation. So is we are conscious, and once you rise to high levels of consciousness, I think one clearly understands that they want to live a higher quality of life, right? And want to die gracefully
Hmm.
as well whenever it comes. Whenever, like, it doesn't matter when it's going to come, we are going to do whatever. And higher quality of life means you are aging slowly, a lot slower. Like, at the age of, 50, 60, you look 30. Like, that's true, conscious, and that's being truly intelligent, and living a higher quality of life. Like, looking at you, Jamie, for the first time when I saw you, there's no way that I thought you would be turning 39, you said, right? There's no way. I thought you were in your early 20s. Like, there's just no way that you could be that age. But it shocks me, right? I'm sure it is going to shock a lot of viewers, And really, you should be proud of that, first of all. Like,
Thank
that's
you.
fabulous of you that you really
Thank you.
stuck upon this, and then, like, you call yourself Ageless Beauty online,
Oh,
and I
I've
truly think
claimed
that's
it. I've claimed
true.
it for myself. But the thing is that everybody can claim ageless beauty because
Hmm.
ageless beauty is not just me. Everyone has
Yeah.
access to ageless beauty. We are
Yeah.
beautiful beings. And the thing with aging too, okay, there's an analogy that I love to use. And if you think of the Wizard of Oz, have you seen the Wizard of Oz?
No, I've
Okay,
heard of it,
the
but I've
viewers
never
will have
seen.
seen it, most of them. Okay, we'll see.
I'm sure.
So the
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, there's two witches. One of them is the Wicked Witch of the West or East. I don't know.
Hmm.
She's a Wicked Witch, and she's green, and she's got warts on her face, and she's all shriveled up, and she's wicked, right? And then there's Glenda. She's the beautiful witch of the north. And she looks like a glowing
Hmm.
princess. And she's beautiful. And she looks young. And she looks youthful. And she's loving. And she's kind. And it's the perfect analogy. It's the perfect symbolism because it's true. When you harbor negative emotions, it shows up in your aura, it shows up on your face. People can feel that from you, and it ages you rapidly. Anger, jealousy, hatred, even hatreds towards ourselves, these are all things that you have to really work through. Children don't
Yeah.
hate themselves, children don't feel stress, you know, they don't. So when you work through those things and you learn to embody godlike qualities like love and humility and kindness and compassion, these qualities make you beautiful and young. They keep you young, but it has to be genuine. It's not like you can't force yourself to be a compassionate person. You have to do the inner work. You have to get into your spiritual path and you have to face your shadow. You have to feel the yucky stuff that's inside of you. You can't bury it because it's got to come out. It has to come out.
Yeah.
And kindness makes you the most beautiful person, no matter what you look like. You can you can look at somebody, no matter how old they are, how many wrinkles they have on their face. If they're loving and kind, they're beautiful and youthful.
Yeah. Yeah. As you say that, some of the people that come to my mind is when I was in Albania like 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I was in Albania, Jamie, and I used to play a lot of chess at that time. The game chess. Do you play chess, by the way?
I love chess.
Oh, really? We should have a game of chess. I'll maybe add you online. Um,
It's been a while, but yeah, my husband and I, it's like one of the things we love doing together. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So I was in Albania and I was going to the park, and this is where, like, in the evening time, all the old people of Albania in the small city that I was staying in, like a small village kind of place that I was staying in, and I used to go to this park, and all the old guys, retired guys, like people who are even 95, even so young looking and so, like, energetic and bright, and like playing chess, like mentally they're so strong. And when you told me that these guys had like 1,000 wrinkles on their face, right? But they were the most kind people ever I have ever seen. Like the most people with the most wrinkle that I've ever seen, and the people with the most kindness that I've ever seen. And like the way we used to play chess games, and like, I used to lose some, I used to win some, and like when they used to smile, Jamie, when they used to like laugh with that kindness, it was it was like a picture of art. Like it was like an artist has, literally designed this face. It was so beautiful, their energy and their face, so
Fahad,
absolutely right.
you just described ageless beauty. That's the beauty,
Yeah.
the divine beauty within that doesn't age. That's it right there. It has nothing to do with what we look like and the wrinkles on our face. It's it's inside of us.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I see you. I see your point. Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
It's
Absolutely. I have
timeless, yeah.
nothing to yeah, nothing to disagree with that. I fully 100% on the same page as you on that. Guys, I want to go ahead and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got value out of this. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel only if you wish to. However, I would greatly appreciate if you were to going to help me reach out to so many more people with this conscious thought process and a conscious planet overall. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.